An ancient Saiyan has now awoken to fight our heroes in the upcoming Dragon Ball Super 2018 film, but the most important question people are asking is how powerful is this individual going to be in comparison to our heroes after having to follow the Tournament of Power? Is this individual going to be Super Saiyan Blue level, or by some chance is this ancient Saiyan going to be far and beyond even Super Saiyan Blue, pushing our heroes to their very breaking point just like Jiren did in the Tournament of Power? On today's video, we are going to be discussing the concept of where this ancient Saiyan may come from, alongside his powers and evolution being compared to Goku and Vegeta's. So strap on in and hold on to your Dragon Balls, because we're going to be talking about the ancient Saiyan in the upcoming Dragon Ball Super movie next. If you are new to this channel and enjoy what you see, then don't forget to punch that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to receive new and daily content on your mobile devices, desktops, and services that I provide, along with following me on these social media platforms to stay connected with me at all times. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now let's begin. With the Dragon Ball Super 2018 movie on the horizon, fans within the Dragon Ball community are begging the question as to how powerful the individual fighting Goku is going to be in comparison to both Goku and Vegeta's Super Saiyan God forms. As joining me here today to discuss the concept of how powerful this new individual is going to be in the upcoming film, welcoming on the channel for the first time ever is my good friend Super Saiyan 4 Guy. As not only is it a pleasure to have you on the channel, but I also wanted to discuss with you, Super Saiyan 4 Guy, the concept of what this movie may be taking in its approach when it's released, and the idea that this individual that's battling against Goku and Vegeta may not possess the same qualities, traits, and powers that our current heroes possess in their residing universe. Now, my question to you is, where do you see this individual stand in terms of power going up against a post-Tournament of Power Goku and Vegeta, considering that not only have they obtained new powers and new forms, such as Super Saiyan Blue Evolution and Ultra Instinct, but where do you see this person be in terms of comparison to Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue forms? Assumingly enough, we are going to see Super Saiyan Blue in the film. The question lingers as to how powerful this individual is going to be in comparison to what Goku and Vegeta can provide in the upcoming film following the Tournament of Power, and more importantly as to where this individual comes from. So where do you believe he comes from? For me, I do believe that he is an ancient Saiyan, perhaps maybe from Universe 7. It's the only logical way to go about this, instead of having him be like this interdimensional Saiyan that comes from a different universe per se that we have no idea what lies within. Perhaps maybe some of the other existing universes that aren't, you know, connected to Universe 6 or 7, which would be out there. I mean, the concept would be totally out there, but in your opinion, where does he come from and how powerful do you believe he's going to be in this upcoming movie?
All right, so yeah, this new villain, obviously we have no idea what his name is or anything like that, but we're taking into consideration that it is a Saiyan, and I think if this is a Saiyan and he's got some backstory, I think it would be awesome to see where he's come from, and I think they really need to expand on where he's come from. And if it is an ancient Saiyan, it would be amazing to see not just a foe, because I think we've seen that so many times with other villains, right, that a new Saiyan just turns up, like all in the movies and things like that, Broly, they're just a new enemy for Goku to overcome. Right. And I just think this guy seems, he's going to be expendable if that happens. They could go down a new route with this character. Obviously be a challenge to Goku in some sort of power aspect, but maybe he can have a much more important role. Kind of like when Beerus showed up in Dragon Ball Super, he wasn't just a villain, he turned into be like a mentor of some kind. And I think this would be awesome, having a Saiyan mentor sometime in the future, especially if he's got a big backstory of the Saiyan heritage. He could teach Goku a thing or two about the Saiyans, you know?
Now, a lot of people were talking about whether or not this would be Yamoshi, if this is going to be somebody entirely different. I think if it's not Yamoshi, it's got to be somebody different. I don't think that it's anybody we've seen before, i.e. Turles, Raditz, Broly. That's been there, done that, that's in the past. I think that this person is entirely different. But what I wanted to ask you is, where do you think this person comes from? Is he from Universe 7? Is he from Universe 6? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because everybody seems to have a different opinion as to where this individual comes from. So many people people are suggesting that perhaps maybe this Saiyan comes from planet Sadhana. Other people have suggested that perhaps maybe this individual has always been within Universe 7 but has been hidden within the shadows and had basically remained undetected from Goku, from Beerus, from the Kais, just more or less doing his own thing. And the second part to this question is, what kind of ability and or evolution do you believe that this person possesses in comparison to Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God? Do you believe that maybe this person, this individual, possesses a new form per se that is different than Goku and Vegeta's? Because looking at it, you know, based on what we know, his armor, the way he looks, you're a big fan of Super Saiyan 4. How crazy would it be if this would be the official variation to what Super Saiyan 4 was supposed to be, especially going into this movie and seeing that for the first time and seeing Super Saiyan 4 or whatever the form, you know, this person takes up battling Super Saiyan Blue? Because I think that if they were to do that, if they were to showcase a new evolution, especially with Vegeta having to tell Goku at the end of Super, hey, so can you do that, you know, Ultra Instinct stuff, and Goku having to say, no, not really, and then Vegeta having to say, well, maybe we can, you know, further develop and grow, because as he pointed out, a Saiyan has no limits. How amazing would it be if this is what's supposed to be Super Saiyan 4 in terms of prospect, in terms of what this person can achieve in terms of evolution? Anything is possible in the world of Dragon Ball, and I personally would like to see that. However, do you think that the power that this person has is something that we've seen before, maybe i.e. some sort of God Key or something along those lines, or is this going to be something entirely different? And if it is, would you consider this to be Super Saiyan 4, considering how just for a split moment we get to see how this person kind of looks like he has fur, the eyes yellow, you know, resembling Super Saiyan 4, which I think would be awesome. But would you say, you know, first and foremost, that this person comes from any of the places that we know of, Universe 6 or 7? And the second part to that question is, do you think that this character, you know, has an entirely new evolution in and of itself, or is this going to be a copy and paste more or less in him having God Key and nothing more?
Well, man, this is a good time for me to spill my guts about this, because you know you love Super Saiyan 4 as much as I do, man, and I can't express how excited I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this is a Super Saiyan 4 character of some kind, there's a big like fanboy in me that would just absolutely love it no matter what story is told. As long as it's Super Saiyan 4, I don't care what it is. But there's a part of me that really wishes that if it was a Super Saiyan 4 like hybrid or some kind, they have to tell it right so it sticks, because I feel that the writers, they know Super Saiyan 4 has some, you know, like impact factor, and there are a lot of fans out there who love it, and I feel like they're holding back on it, and they're going to bring it in at some point. Maybe they're keeping it as a last resort, big surprise for us. So maybe this is it. Maybe they're going to put their own spin on it now, and maybe not have it like Super Saiyan 4
It would be different
Goku.
if you think about it. It would be extremely different.
Oh, absolutely. And just, you know, wherever he comes from, whether it is a Universe 7 Saiyan, you know, maybe he could be Yomoshi or the legendary Super Saiyan God or whatever. Maybe he was frozen in ice or something like that, some story. If he is that guy, then so be it. Just hope he has some kind of, maybe he has a power that the other Saiyans don't have. Maybe he was
exactly, and like that's why I feel like it ought to be different now. And I really do appreciate Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, which is why I feel like this person ought to have something different, just because it'll mesh very well. As an example, the reason why I brought up Super Saiyan 4 is because, can you imagine if Goku and Vegeta and said Saiyans are looking at this person and they can't seem to recognize what that transformation is? Granted, they're both Saiyans in terms of bloodline, but this person just so happens to have a different form as opposed to what we're normally used to in canon, that being Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. And for the first time seeing Goku and Vegeta stump and saying, okay, well, what is that? We've never seen that before. How amazing would that be? And the reason why I focus more or less on where he comes from is because you said that, you know, if he does come from Universe 7, where could he be? Frozen in ice. If that's the case, it's like, okay, then, you know, what made him break through the ice? What made him reawaken now, you know? Even though we have confirmation that this movie takes place after the Tournament of Power, I just feel like more or less if he's an ancient Saiyan, there's no way he comes from Universe 7, because, you know, if he had, then where was he this entire time? Where was he during the battle between Beerus, Frieza, you know, the annihilation of galaxies by Majin Buu? Where was he? You know, like, was he in a different quadrant of the universe? We don't know. Which is why, you know, I really want to focus in as to where he comes from, because it's very weird to me that if he does come from Universe 7, for him to be equal to any of these Saiyans. That's why more or less I feel like he might be from Universe 6. How do you feel about that personally, if that were to be the case?
Yeah, can you just imagine that Beerus' dream all along about the Super Saiyan
yes,
God,
the prophecy.
It wasn't actually Goku, it was actually this guy,
yeah.
And then somehow he's come back now because, I don't know, maybe Ultra Instinct, he's sensed the power or something, he's awoken somehow, But you know, it would be awesome to think that he's confronted Goku and Vegeta, and maybe he's like disappointed in them that they've gone down this god power route, and they're not, you know, going through the actual Saiyan progression tree and all their powers, and they've taken a different approach to power, where he's kind of like, no, I'm more of a primal Saiyan, you've forgotten your roots of the Saiyans and stuff, and maybe they battle it out and they find some sort of mid-ground in power. I think that would be amazing, you know.
They actually also foreshadowed Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan Blue in Dragon Ball Heroes, which again, it was confirmed by the Dragon Ball Heroes developers that Super Saiyan Blue is stronger in that adaptation. But again, this more or less goes to show, like, if they were to give this person like a further evolution, it would make things different, because we saw in the teaser trailer that he emitted like this green aura, and a lot of people quickly pointed out and saying, oh, it's Broly, even though it's not Broly. I felt like it was most interesting to see the developments, you know, from that teaser, and the idea that Goku's going head to head with this person, and you just don't know how strong he is. But even though he is going up against Goku's base form, what I wanted to ask you personally is, how strong do you think this person is going up against Goku? And would you say, you know, assumingly that he's going to be more powerful than Super Saiyan Blue, if that ends up being the case?
Well, at the moment, we know that Super Saiyan Blue has been vastly surpassed with the Kaioken aspect and the Ultra Instinct. So, and I know they're trying to go back down to Blue and not have an Ultra Instinct all the time, based on, you know, the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super and the hints there that he won't be going Ultra Instinct as much now. But with this new guy, whenever we see the color green, it always signifies that sort of power, that legendary power. I don't know what it is, like with Kale as well, with the Berserk state. We always think there's something really powerful going on there. But how he jumps up to this level of Blue with Goku, with all the scaling that's been going on in the community, it's going to be hard to justify with just, you know, like a pure Saiyan going to that level. And whenever Ultra Instinct, whenever that comes into it, is he going to be able to rival that, or is that going to be something he's going to push Goku to go to? Whether the Blue form is going to be enough, because we've seen Blue being beaten enough times in Dragon Ball Super,
absolutely
we're just used to it, you know. So if that happens, I'm not going to be surprised. Just so to give this new guy a bit of respect, I guess, in the community, he's got to have a win of some kind. There's no point in turning up and just losing, you know.
I definitely agree with you. I think that this person is possibly going to be relative to Super Saiyan Blue. Even though I don't know how, they're going to they have enough time to focus on this film, and I feel like, you know, I really do hope that the story aspect is utilized very, very well, instead of just, you know, allowing them to give us a half-assed story. But more or less talking about Ultra Instinct, do you believe that Ultra Instinct will be returning in this film? And if it does, would you say that it would make sense? Because I'm sorry, I don't see anybody else aside from possibly Jiren so far that we know of that could touch Goku in that aspect. If UI were to return, I don't see this person even remotely being close to it. Do you feel differently, or do you feel like, you know, more or less the same about UI returning, and the fact that Goku would just annihilate this dude and there wouldn't be any competition?
Well, it's going to go one of two ways. Either he's going to push Goku to the point where he's going to be transforming into Ultra Instinct through like just a usual progression of battle, and that's going to be kind of expected with Ultra Instinct and how it works. But I would like to see that in this movie, that he doesn't actually tap into Ultra Instinct, that he's being beat down, and Vegeta's going, come on, use the Ultra Instinct and stuff like that, and he's going, I can't do it. And then they try to find a new way to beat this villain, maybe even going down a Super Saiyan 4 route of their own to try and fight him, because they can't tap into Ultra Instinct, you know, willingly. They got to go down like a new route of power, kind of like how Goku got his tail back in the GT episodes, you know.
See, that concept would be so amazing if, as you said, maybe Goku's getting beat down and Vegeta's like, come on, can't you do it? And Goku's like, I can't. Then that puts him in a very interesting position. It's like, okay, well, what do you do now? And I've seen a lot of people talk about the endless possibilities that could be in this film, and that's what I really enjoy, because from all we know is they're going to be diving into the origin of the Saiyan powers, and they're more or less going to be reflecting back as to when Frieza ruled over the Saiyans. And most interestingly enough is the fact that this person is supposed to come from an ancient time. Whether or not that predates the whole Planet Vegeta takeover, or whether or not that be the case, we don't know. We don't know much as of this recording, but I do feel like they have to upscale this person because it's following the Tournament of Power. So, you know, assumingly enough, everybody has gotten stronger, and that means everybody, Kaba, Kale, Khalifa, Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, all the Saiyans have gotten exponentially stronger. But more or less going back to the original question, would you say that this person coming from Universe 6 would make sense? Because I've seen also people talk about how there's potential in this person being King Sadala, which I don't know if I would like to see that per se, because I mean, even though it's a very interesting concept in the fact that we get to see the king finally meet Vegeta, and Vegeta meeting the king, only this time on the battlefield, which would be amazing. Would you more or less feel like that would make sense if this was someone from planet Sadala, if not King Sadala himself? Or would you rather this be somebody entirely different that we've never seen before that doesn't come from planet Sadala?
Yeah, if he is from Universe 6, then I would like to see him maybe not from that planet itself, because I would like to think that he would have been in the Tournament of Power if he was that strong, because the universe would have been, so I can't see him being from there. But maybe if he is from Universe 6, then maybe he's a Saiyan that's unknown to those you know, the Saiyans there, Carbon, or maybe they didn't know about him, maybe he was just a legend there, and maybe he's finally there now somehow because everything's been restored. It'd be a good way to explore Universe 6 with the characters, because they have some hidden potential in storytelling. So I think that because Vegeta wanted to go there, right, as well to see the planet, Sadala, so that's a good chance to explore. Maybe the trailer is actually in Universe 6. We don't know that. Maybe the Earth there, because it does say Earth has Goku, and I know this is far-fetched in thinking that this character in the trailer is like a Universe 6 version of Goku, and they're on their Earth. I don't know. Maybe there's so many possibilities, dude. Yeah, so.
I mean, what are your thoughts on the way this movie's being drawn out and animated? Because it's different. Yamamoro's not behind it, and that's the first time in literally, what, decades? It looks different. It reminds me personally of the older Dragon Ball films. Would you say, aesthetically speaking, that this film is going to be very good in terms of how you see it now through the teasers, or are you going to wait more or less to see more of what they may, you know, offer in terms of a trailer for you to judge fully? Because I've seen a lot of people, they're on the fence about this and saying, oh, the animation looks crap, and I can understand why. When you're so used to Shida and Takahashi, all you can really think of is that. So I feel like people ought to give this a chance, because I feel like in terms of aesthetics and in terms of the way this movie is going to flow, it's really going to be beautiful in its fight designs and its overall execution. How do you feel personally about the animation and the art style? Do you more or less prefer what we saw with Shida and Takahashi's work, or more or less would you say that, you know, you would give this a chance and see how it flows?
Well, based on history with episode 5 of Dragon Ball Super, we should start the bar very low and then work our way up. But yeah, with the animation in Super, it actually progressed so well towards the end, and we got so used to it and everything, and that was the peak of Dragon Ball Super's animation, I feel, towards the end. And I just think that, yeah, we should give this a chance. I mean, we shouldn't jump to it, and even if the animation isn't as good when we first see it, maybe they will progress it even further and we get some, you know, new type of animation, because the world progresses, man, and we just got to go with it and just enjoy it for what it is. You know, sometimes we're not going to enjoy it. Dragon Ball Z animation will probably be my favorite because of how it was portrayed with the blood and everything, and maybe they can add blood elements in this if they want to make it a more 18 rated.
I hope so. That would really make for a very intense showdown, because I felt like, you know, in Shonen, blood is always very important, but in Dragon Ball, it was what it was. They never really offered that. But going into this film, I'm really excited, because we had Battle of Gods, Resurrection of F, and we saw what led into that. I personally think that this is going to open up so many doors for new things. But any final thoughts before we go in terms of, you know, power, in terms of ranking, what you expect to see? Because like I said before, the reason why, if anything, I would like to see this person have a different form than our traditional heroes is because if you look at it objectively, and this person having, you know, let's say for example Super Saiyan 4, for the first time you get to see a window from where Vegeta and Goku are looking from the outside in, and vice versa, with this person having to observe Super Saiyan Blue. The same thing happened when Kale transformed in her Berserker form during the Tournament of Power, when Vegeta said, you know, could this be the original form of the Saiyans? So I found that to be most interesting, because Vegeta had never seen that before canon-wise. So I feel like by having this person have a different kind of evolution than Goku and Vegeta, but also being on par with them, would really speak volumes in the fact that, hey, you know, as much as they've been training, there's been other people out there that have also excelled, but in different ways. So any final thoughts before we go in terms of who this may be, in terms of structural, you know, basis as to where you see this person standing in terms of going toe-to-toe with Goku and Vegeta, and just what you would like to see as a fan going into this film?
Yeah, I would absolutely, as a fan, I gotta be perfectly honest here, I think the Super Saiyan 4 transformation would be amazing in his own way. Maybe they didn't even have to call it Super Saiyan 4, you know, just something that is recognized as a true Saiyan form and goes right back to basics. And I think that should really showcase how powerful a Saiyan can truly be without going, you know, into the god roots and the god ki and all that stuff, and just being a classic Saiyan as you know, how they used to be. I think that classic Saiyans have been totally forgotten. I think we're more into the elements of the gods and things now, and angels and stuff, and Saiyans are supposed to be primitive monkeys fighting and stuff, and this guy really needs to bring that back, bring it back home to what Saiyans are all about. And maybe, you know, Vegeta might remember just how a Saiyan should have been all along, you know, because he's the principal Saiyans, you know, the barbaric training Saiyan that he always used to be. And I think Dragon Ball's been missing that for some time, you know. That's how I picture Saiyans. And I hope this guy has a unique form to himself, because Dragon Ball's all about having characters who stand out from each other. You know, Goku and Vegeta's got the blue forms and stuff. And this guy, if he's got a legendary Super Saiyan form, that would be awesome. But obviously the tail is going to help out, because I don't think we've seen, you know, officially in canon or anything, a Super Saiyan 4 transformation with the green key. It would be awesome just for him to have that. So
I definitely love the concept of this individual having a different form in comparison to what we've previously have seen from Goku and Vegeta. Like I said before, would it be really cool to see this person adapt something similar to Super Saiyan 4 or a different kind of transformation? Yes, and the reason for that is because if you look at the differences between what Goku and Vegeta would have in comparison to what this ancient Saiyan would provide in terms of substance, in terms of giving us something new, it really would make things so much more interesting to see what Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution could do against a form that Goku and Vegeta are not familiarized with or even know about. As of course, as we saw during the Tournament of Power, we saw when Kale first transformed into her Berserker form, Vegeta had suggested to Goku that he ought to be careful because he assumes that perhaps maybe this is what the true form of what a Saiyan is, as he saw Kale transform. So not even Vegeta was familiarized with what Kale had done. So seeing that firsthand, I think would have been really awesome, in the idea that this individual would be able to provide something different for our heroes to fight against, as opposed to just a mere power-up or a simple design concept. But in the end, guys, let us know what you all think down in the comment section below. How strong do you guys believe this individual is going to be in comparison to God Goku, Blue Goku, Vegeta, Ultra Instinct? And if this person is going to have a different transformation, what is it going to be? Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on all notifications if you guys are new. Don't forget also, guys, to check out Super Saiyan 4 Guy's channel. I will leave a link to his down below. Thank you so much for joining me, Super Saiyan 4 Guy. Thank you all so much for watching me. Tune back in for more, and we'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys. Cue my outro, bitch.